everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Corner, and we're getting ready to do another comic book review with your host, Spider Slayer. That's right, guys. Today's comic book review, or another featured book of the week that I'm doing, is going to be Alpha Girl, issue number 2. This is a follow-up to, obviously, issue number 1. I thoroughly enjoyed the first issue of Alpha Girl, and so I decided to pick up the second issue to see where this series is going. And I must say that this cover is quite different from the first cover. We see the main character in the first cover, and then in this cover we see some kid with a zombie girl pulling up a dead leg skin thing. But I like the little saying. It says, "This is Frank. He's a little worried about his future." But this comic continued to live up to its name. Well, in this second issue, I don't know, because now, after reading this issue, I'm kind of on the fence with the whole thing. It took a different direction than I expected. But before we really get into the walkthrough and review of the issue, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures from the artwork, from the interior art of this book. So here's this part. Here we can see not much zombie part that they're showing here. It just shows our main character here just sitting here trying to sell, yes, bodily fluids. So that's what she does to make extra money. She sells bodily fluids. So whether it's spit, urine, tampons, all kinds of other stuff, that's what it takes to make some money. So you can see that there's a little post-it there, and here's another picture right before she notices the zombie apocalypse is happening. And here again is she's selling her urine to some goody two-shoes here for top money. So yeah, not too much to look at there because it's not. I didn't get a good preview art, so I'm going to show you here. Our main character name is Judith, and she is going to be our alpha girl. She's going to be pretty much the last human female here, and this zombie apocalypse was created by a cosmetic company, and it had pheromones that created these zombies, or zombie girls, and they attack the guys and they eat the guys and everything else like that. So that's why she's going to be the alpha girl. So basically in this issue we see the zombie apocalypse starting to happen, starting to take over the world. And in the first pages here you can see that, again, you know, it's Judith doing her everyday thing, you know, trying to make extra money by selling her bodily fluids, which is absolutely disgusting. This book tries to be funny, but it's like almost trying to go too much or too funny, and it's kind of interfering with the story a little bit. It should be a little bit, I wish it would be a little bit more serious with you know, comedy in it. But as Judith goes through her day, she notices that certain things should be opening, and they're not. They're closed. So one place is supposed to be open at 8, and it's 8:30. She sees a guy jumping off the building with a zombie, you know, chasing after her, and you can see that there is a zombie hitting the ground, and she's just basically going, "Holy shit, what the hell is going on?" And you can see that there's these scientist guys that are basically trying to capture the zombies and try to do studies on them and seeing what is going on. This book obviously features the female species in the book, and it's kind of like they kind of go a little bit overboard with the whole nudity thing for zombie women. But anyway, we can see that these guys are trying to capture him so they can do studies and finding out what's going on. And there's people seeing these zombies running around, and they're basically trying to pick them off as we can see them. So that's what's going on right now, because no one knows exactly for sure what's happening in the world. So the art is good. I do like the art. The art is like cartoony. It's got bold colors, and I like that. I like the art. It's just, I think they just, again, they go too crazy on the whole female anatomy thing. In this next scene here, Judith winds up getting captured, and they don't want her she gets captured by the same people, and they don't want to let her go. I guess they're just doing studies because it's the public health and trying to find out what's going on here. Next, we come on to this guy who is Frank, who lives in the suburbs. And this is what was confusing about this issue for me. The last issue flowed nicely. This issue, I'm even having trouble doing a walkthrough or review of it because it jumps around so much. It goes from Judith to some random people that we've never seen before. We see some, just miscellaneous scientist guys that come out. We see this Frank guy who's like a pervert, and we see him basically doing his Sunday ritual, which is checking out this girl, which is supposedly the girl on the front cover, and doing a breast exam. So that's what we see there, and he like gets off on it. But as you can see, as she's doing that ritual, she sniffs in the perfume gas that's been causing this zombie apocalypse. And the next thing we see is that she's fallen over, and she's hugging her dad, and the next thing she knows is she becomes a zombie, and she eats her dad. So the next thing we say is he's like, oh my God, that's not in the ritual. So he's like freaking out. So next we see Judith's brother here, who she's trying to get out of juvenile hall. That's why she's doing all this weird bodily fluid selling stuff, so she can bail out her brother. And what this art kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever watched this, but it reminds me of that cartoon show Johnny Test, because that's kind of like Johnny's like hairstyle there, and that's what this art kind of reminds me of, that type of style. But again, we see these random people that he's in juvenile hall with, and we can see that she's sitting here in this hospital, and I guess they're doing these studies on these zombies, and Judith is trying to escape, and we see some random chick running, like who is she? And then all of a sudden she gets shot in the head, and she goes down a garbage chute, and she's basically trying to escape from these scientist creatures, or scientist guys. And they go chasing them, and obviously she gets away, and there's some funny potty humor in here, and basically saying that the guy smells his farts in his hazmat suit, and the chick is gone, and all of a sudden we see more zombies attack, and these scientist guys get killed. So basically FEMA's getting involved, and they're saying stay in your area. And there's just a whole bunch of jumping around, and then somehow she ends up back in the suburbs where that Frank guy lived, and everything is boarded up, and here we see him going, and she's like, hello? And the next thing we see is we see this Frank kid, whoever he is or what he has to do with the book, is basically whacking off, and you actually see Judith, and she's sitting there going, holy crap, there's a kid whacking off. Holy crap, there's a chick in my room. And that's what he says. And Judith is just like shocked, and you actually see like real Playboy magazines on the bottom and stuff like that. So this book just relied on this issue for a lot of potty humor, a lot of nudity and gore, and which I'm okay with the gore, but In the end, it just says, for the next issue, it says, does Frank get to finish? Will Judith kick his ass? Stay tuned for more gore and nudity in issue 3. And it's just, I don't know, I just hope that it doesn't go incredibly hardcore in this direction with this book, with this hardcore, you know, humor and nudity and stuff like that, because to me that doesn't make a book. The last issue was so good for me, where the main character was introduced. She looks like a real badass. Here we're on the verge of a zombie apocalypse, and you're seeing how these zombies are starting to take over the town and the city slowly but surely, and eventually we're going to see how Judith becomes the alpha girl, how she starts kicking ass. And then I hope that's when the series really starts, you know, becoming really good, and, you know, add in the humor, which is fine, but throw in a good story. To me, this story just jumped around. Panels are all over the place. Miscellaneous characters. I don't even know who, you know, which way or where they're going, and, you know, the way they're introduced was just odd to me. So overall, I give this book probably about a 3 out of 5. It was average for me. I will pick up the 3rd issue because now I want to see if it's trending in this direction, and if it does, then I'll probably eventually drop it. But I'm going to give it a chance because it looked like it had some potential in the 1st issue, and I still think it does. Who knows? We'll just see. So, but that's it. Alpha Girl number 2, guys. If you read 1, you know, and you're disappointed with 2, let me know. Let me know what you think of this series so far. And that is it for right now. So, with that being said, until the next comic book review, Spider Slayer signing off. And as always, guys, thanks for subscribing. And thanks for watching Comic Book Corner. Take care, guys.